Good morning. It is 9 a.m. Thanks for tuning into Daybreak as we continue to stream here on our WGRZ app. And today marks week 2 of jury selection in the federal death penalty case against the Tops mass shooter, Peyton Gendron. It's scheduled to pick back up right about now. Roughly 1,200 potential jurors are taking the next steps in the selection process at federal court in Buffalo. Legal experts tell Two on Your Side these candidates will answer detailed questions regarding their background and opinions on issues that may impact the case. And that includes their thoughts on the death penalty and the criminal justice system. And also this morning, we've got an update on the search for a missing boater on Java Lake over the weekend. 46-year-old Robert Fuller was found dead Saturday night. It came after a 24-hour search effort from the Wyoming County Sheriff's Office. Investigators say Fuller was one of 2 people on a boat who were out on that water on Friday night. The Sheriff's Office says that it got a call around 7 p.m. that the boat had capsized and 1 boater was missing. Crews used sonar technology to search the lake all day Saturday and eventually recovered Fuller's body around 6 p.m. According to deputies, it does appear that this was an accidental drowning. An Orchard Park man is facing multiple charges after police say he threatened and restrained 2 women inside his home. Orchard Park police arrested 43-year-old Andrew Jackson Friday night after getting a call from a woman who said she and a friend were hiding from a man who had a gun. Investigators say Jackson brought the women into his home on Red Fox Lane, then unlawfully restrained them. During a search of the home, police say they found 2 illegal AR-style rifles in a child's bedroom closet. They say 1 was loaded. Jackson is facing multiple charges, including unlawful imprisonment, menacing, endangering the welfare of a child, and failure to safely store guns. Investigators are working to pinpoint the cause of a house fire in the town of Tonawanda. This was the scene on Brighton Road on Saturday morning, right near Greenleaf Avenue. Firefighters say that the fire started in the driveway before spreading to the home. Officials say no one was home at the time, but a pet was inside.
There was 1 dog that was rescued from the residence and is doing good at this point. Cause is under investigation, but there is some considerable damage.
Fortunately, no one was hurt in that house fire. Police in Olean are investigating a hit and run involving a car and an e-bike. Police say it happened before 3 o'clock Saturday morning at the intersection of Delaware Avenue and Queen Street. They say the e-bike driver was seriously hurt. As police work to find the car and the driver involved, they're asking anyone with information to give them a call at the number on your screen, 376-5677. More than 30 people are being helped by the Red Cross after a massive apartment fire yesterday morning in Monroe County. Our sister station in Rochester reports 14 fire companies from Monroe, Orleans, and Genesee counties responded to the fire on Lake Road near Bridge Road in Clarkson. The Brockport Fire District says 1 person and 3 pets had to be rescued. Unfortunately, no one was hurt. Investigators are working to learn what caused it. Well, drivers on the 190 should expect some delays starting today. A nearly $62 million construction project is now going to start anytime now on the 190. It's happening between exit 1, the Ogden Street exit, and exit 5, which is Hamburg Street. The work includes pavement repairs, bridge improvements, and other safety upgrades along the busy stretch of highway. Traffic will be reduced from 3 lanes to 2 in both directions, and officials say severe delays can be expected. The project is a long one, too. It won't be completed until late 2028. It is 9:04 on Daybreak, and a man serving a 40-year sentence for killing his ex-girlfriend and mother is expected to appear in court today. Lawyers for Charles Jones are trying to get that sentence drastically reduced. Now, this is video of a man who's accused of killing his wife in Clarence. But Charles Jones previously pleaded guilty to 2 counts of manslaughter in the 2019 deaths of 25-year-old Chiquetta Lee and 52-year-old Althea Williams. Police say that prosecutors say, let's back up a little bit so I can read this here. Prosecutors say that following a Following a court hearing, he's being asked to have his sentence reduced because he says that he was physically abused and suffered domestic violence at the hands of his mother. And so he originally was sentenced to 40 years in prison, and now he's asking to have that reduced in the 2019 deaths of those two. And a judge will decide whether his case will be reheard and whether his sentence will be reduced. Moving on now. A man accused of murdering his wife is expected to appear in court for a felony hearing today. Michael Brown of Clarence is being charged with second-degree murder. He was arrested late last week. Investigators say they responded to a home on Sheridan Drive just before 3 a.m. Thursday morning. Deputies say they found Brown's wife, 50-year-old Deanna Christian, dead from a gunshot wound inside the home. We haven't learned many details beyond that, but right now Brown is being held without bail. If convicted, he faces 25 years to life in prison. Boards of election across the state are resetting today, tallying the early vote total and preparing for primary day tomorrow. Polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And 2 on your sides, Rob Hackford joins us in the newsroom this morning with a closer look at those numbers. Rob?
Yeah, Melissa, limited numbers at that. The Erie County and Allegheny County boards of elections are the only boards that share their early voting tallies before primary night is over. Just 391 people came out to early vote in Allegheny County. There are 4 town justice races in Allen, Friendship, Rushford, and Hume. A vacant council seat in Cuba, a Republican primary for county judge, and a Democratic primary in the 23rd Congressional District. Allegheny County does not provide a race breakdown, but Erie County does. The race for the 61st between State Senator Jeremy Zellner and Assemblyman John Rivera has certainly lived up to its expectations, getting the most early votes at just over 4,000, followed by the 23rd primary between Aaron Geis and Kevin Stocker, just with over 2,000. The three-way 149th Assembly race between Karen Hoke, Adam Bojack, and Kevin Deese isn't far behind, though. 1,900 votes have been cast in that. Now, these are all primary races, so keep in mind you have to be registered to your political party or a political party in order to vote, and then depending on where you live, there has to be a contested race for you to vote in. With that in mind, if you're a registered Democrat in New York, a statewide primary for New York State Comptroller is underway with 3 individuals running in that, taking on incumbent Tom DiNapoli. There are also Democratic, Republican, and Conservative county committee contests in Erie County with the city of Buffalo, Amherst, and on Grand Island. Pete?
Rob, thank you. All right, Patrick, how are you? What's going on weather-wise?
Okay, couple words. Fluffhead. Squirming coil, possum, first tube, Reba. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have not the slightest clue.
These are all songs Melissa and I heard at a concert this weekend.
Okay. I enjoyed the music.
Yes,
didn't
you just didn't know the
songs.
titles.
I didn't know the lyrics, but Patrick introduced me to Fish. And I introduced Patrick to a friend of mine from high school who was playing with Trey Anastasio, the lead singer of Fish, at Kleinhans. And Jeff Tansky is a 2001 graduate of St. Joe's Collegiate Institute, the most talented piano player I think I've ever met. And he's a local guy who's now living in New York City. But Trey asked Jeff to tour with him. And so Jeff was back here at home playing.
And I was equally as impressed with him as I was to see the iconic Trey Anastasio, who...
Oh, is it Anastasio, not Anastasio?
Either way.
Okay.
Anastasio. Okay.
Doesn't matter how you pronounce his last name. He was
amazing.
Remarkably talented. Patrick, I've heard Fish Friday for so many years with you.
And it's hard to capture 15 seconds of a Fish song and understand it. But I'm so glad. And Melissa turned around and she said to me, it was so great to experience this with you because I've passionately been a fan of Fish.
I know, and I've never really understood, but you've been up on the roof, you're so passionate about it, and for me to finally hear it in this acoustic setting, it was just Trey and his guitar, and Jeff on the piano, and it was really beautiful music.
And Jeff was so good, and he was so I'm assuming this was his home crowd. This was his home turf.
You heard
I believe
shouting
he graduated in that building, right?
Yeah, St. Joe's. They walk across the stage of Kleinhans to graduate.
And then
when
when he was done, he was like,
yep. He's such a humble guy.
Right.
And he's so immensely talented.
Yes.
And so it was really cool to see, Patrick, our worlds colliding.
Yes.
We're like best friends, but now we kind of bonded at this a whole nother deeper musical level. So it was a really special night on Friday.
Fish Fridays will take on a new meaning.
Saturday.
Yeah, Fish Friday will take on a new meaning for you.
Yes.
And such a great treasure to meet your friend Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get to meet him, but I got to listen to him and be introduced to him. And wow, what a talent he is. So anyway, all right, moving on. Let's see, rain is the world we're colliding with right now, and that is certainly going to be the case throughout the morning, but I do believe we should see drier weather for the afternoon. So a wet commute continues. Back to sunshine tomorrow with warmer numbers in the 70s and showers on Thursday with mid-70s. That's our next chance for rain this week. Not tomorrow, not Wednesday, but Thursday. It does not look as widespread as today. So as forecast, that heavier rain is now pushed into Rochester and pushing away. We are seeing lighter rains now that will continue for a bit longer. The clouds will linger throughout the day today, and this afternoon, certainly drier than this morning. It still might be a little on the damp side. There could still be some drizzle or a little bit of, light rain shower. So if you have outdoor plans, on a general sense, it's going to dry out, but it may not be completely dry, even though the heaviest rain is pushing away. You can see that here. But notice, as we head into the afternoon, there still could be some light rain showers around. So just a heads up for the afternoon. And also look at how cool it's going to be. Only in the 60s today. That's pretty cool for the second day of summer, no doubt. Tomorrow will be warmer. It may start off gray, but we'll see some clearing rapidly, and mostly sunny skies expected for tomorrow and on Wednesday. So really nice weather for the middle part of the week. Not much more additional rain. So this was kind of a soaker of a Monday morning, but the afternoon and evening commute should not be have nearly the impact this morning did. But also, it didn't seem to have a massive impact. There was slower travel this morning, but no major accidents because of the rain. That'll be easing into the afternoon, mostly cloudy tonight, 55. And for tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures climb into the 70s under mostly sunny skies and a light breeze. So then for the rest of the week, Thursday, some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, dry for Friday. We've got the ride for Roswell starting Friday night with the Peloton. And then, of course, Saturday's events. We've got the Taste of Country on Friday night. All of this at this point is looking dry, okay? At this point. I will mention it is not a 100% lock yet. I could see a chance of rain maybe sneaking into Saturday. Right now, we're going to keep it dry. Sunday looks nice with a high. There we go, 80. And I have a hunch next week, there may be a day or two that we're well into the mid to even upper 80s next week.
Finally. And the kids will finally be off from school, too.
Right.
They'll be in camps or hopefully at pools that are open. So the weather will be nice as summer vacation really begins for the kids next week.
That's right.
Excellent. Patrick, thank you. All right, stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll talk ribbon cutting for the new Highmark Stadium and some Sabres news coming up after the break. Welcome back. Tomorrow is going to be a really big day for Bills Mafia and the thousands of construction workers who have been working on this for years. They're cutting the ribbon on the new Highmark Stadium. The team's kicking off a community celebration to open the new home, marking the culmination of years of work on the $2 billion project. Familiar faces will be there, of course, for the press conference. Team owner Terry Pagula, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz. We're hearing Governor Kathy Hochul will also be there. And Two on Your Side, we will be there throughout the morning, beginning on Daybreak on Channel 2 at 5 a.m. and continuing all the way through. We'll be streaming right here on our WGRZ app on your phone or TV. And we do know the press conference is at 10. There will be a media tour early, but they're embargoing it, which means we're not allowed to show the video from inside until after the press conference is totally over. So Rob Hackford pulled the lucky straw.
Yeah.
He is going to get to do that. Natalie will be there all morning long reporting from outside. I will be here during the 9 a.m. I will actually be out at the stadium, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be talking to a gentleman by the name of Dennis Manley.
Dennis Manley.
Dennis.
Love that name.
Is one of just a handful of ushers who is going to be an usher at the new Highmark Stadium.
Oh, wow.
Who was an usher at the previous Highmark Stadium and was an usher at the first Bills Stadium, the Rock Pile. So he's at all three.
That's
and
cool.
He's going to be joining me live to chat about some of his excitement going into this new one and memories from the first one. So he'll be joining me live. I'll be talking with some of the construction workers who are there who hopefully will go on camera. There's just so much to celebrate. It's been a long time coming. So many people have been a part of this massive project, and it's a time to celebrate. However, it's still going to be some time before Bills fans do get to go in there. We know the red and blue scrimmage is going to be the first time that there's going to be fans allowed in the stadium.
It's like a month and a half away, so it's not too long,
right.
is it?
And then we also know that there are tours that will be happening, and you can sign up for tours. Although I signed up for one and I still haven't gotten an email about it. We don't know how much they're going to cost, but there's multiple levels of tours that you can go on. It seems like it's for groups and for businesses and maybe for schools also, because they actually have like a STEM tour for students.
Oh.
But we don't really have more specifics. So when I wrote the Bills and asked about it, they said they'd have more information at the end of this month. So maybe tomorrow at the press conference we'll be learning more about that. Because folks who didn't buy a PSL or perhaps have season tickets are wondering, well, how can I get in and see it? I want to see it. And also, our taxpayer money went to this.
I was just going to say, it's theirs too.
So
yeah, right.
It's kind of annoying
Isn't
that we even
kind
have to
of
pay
bizarre?
for a tour when it's like, I helped pay for this.
Yeah.
So I'm
still,
sure that there are
it's a
some
great
bills.
opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, it will be very expensive to buy resale tickets also for people who bought the PSLs, bought the season tickets, and want to sell their tickets and make some money back. So anyway, we've got a lot to talk about tomorrow, and we'll show some video from, groundbreaking to the steel beam, the final steel beam going in, to now the ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
And watching the bison outside be built. You said that you saw
the second one, and I will say the second one is bigger than the first, but it's clearly not the big one.
Right.
Because that's the
27 foot,
right.
2.5
but
story tall.
they're building it, I can't imagine they're going to have it ready by tomorrow, but.
A lot of people can do a lot of work today, although the weather's not going to cooperate.
I know, but they were putting the pieces of it together. It was really cool. And I remember that press conference with all those dignitaries and their shovels 3 years ago, early June, 3 years to the day. I mean, it's amazing how that sprouted out of the earth.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And they got it done in time.
Yeah, they did.
So,
they did.
Yep. So please join us tomorrow on Channel 2. And then we'll have the press conference. We'll stream all of it. Then Rob will be able to show you his video from inside. Claudia and Ewing will have live coverage during our 4, 5, 6 o'clock newscast. She'll be out there live at the stadium, but we'll have coverage throughout the day. And also, I think Dave McKinley is going to be talking about what's happening around the stadium. You've got this massive $2 billion stadium, but what is Orchard Park in Hamburg going to look like around the stadium?
And it's, that piece of the puzzle hasn't happened yet, as you know. I mean, you've got this major and maybe they didn't want construction of anything else going on at the same time, but you've got this huge building and you just wonder, in the years ahead, what's next in that area?
If you build it, they will come.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
All right. And we are going to take a quick break. We'll have much more coming up right after the break. Welcome back. I've got so many. I didn't know I had so many questions about cross stitch and needlepoint, and now I'm also learning that Patrick knows it too.
Well, I just remember doing things like this as a kid. The needlepoint, you had like a square piece of fabric, and pretty simple rules, but out came this like design. It was really kind of cool. So this was 40 years ago, but.
Yes, they call it a granny hobby. And the new statement on TikTok is "Hot girls do granny hobbies" or analog summer. And so this phenomena that's happening with a lot of people my age, the mid-generation, younger generation, is wanting to get off their phones, wanting to get off of social media. And so one of the ways they're doing that is with these granny analog hobbies. And so
like knitting,
crocheting, journaling, needlepoint, cross stitch, sewing.
Journaling.
Yeah, and what photo books that used to be. It seems like there's trends of these old projects and
Michael's
and
Craft
hobbies.
Store said that this year alone in their like craft predictions, they're going to be up 135% in terms of all of these crafts.
So I wonder, then what happened to Joann's? I mean, you would think that they would have survived.
Rest in peace, Joann's.
I know.
A little too late to the party.
I know.
And I'm so sad.
Fortunately, there are local business owners.
Absolutely.
So go to a mom and pop shop for your hobby, and that's what your store is about.
Yeah, lots of East Aurora, a lot of places in East Aurora, they have a quilt shop, but then of course they also have Arden and Gray Needlepoint Company. It is the only needlepoint store, purely needlepoint store in Western New York. There hasn't been one in 40 years up until November when Hannah opened it up, and I went and visited her last week and got to check it out and hear a little bit about what she has to say when it comes to needlepointing.
When you are stitching and you're doing a repetitive motion like that, it gets rid of all the noise, and I love it.
Tucked away just off of Main Street in East Aurora, you'll find Arden and Gray Needlepoint, a shop helping people unwind one stitch at a time.
I've always been a maker. I've always been what you call a serial hobbyist. I do all the hobbies, knitting, crochet, needlepoint. I've done cross stitch, I've done sewing. And one of the things that's always kept me grounded has been my hobbies.
Named after her twins, owner and designer Hannah Bueller decided to open the shop after noticing something was missing in Western New York.
There hasn't been a needlepoint store, a full needlepoint store, in over 40 years in Western New York.
Opening back in November, she hoped to give people a place to pick up a new skill and maybe put a few of life's stresses on pause.
It's important for people to have something in their lives that they can do, that's a hobby. I know so many people that don't have hobbies, and that's the one thing that they always tell me. How do you find the time to do this? I can't find the time in my busy life.
Bueller says while some people still think of needlepoint as a hobby for grandma, the craft is finding a whole new generation of fans.
There's so many different things that you can do with needlepoint. There's an appreciation for the past, but also an expectation for the future. You know, we want needlepoint to kind of come into this century and stay there.
With classes and demos, she says the shop is the perfect place for anyone looking to take a stab at something new.
One of the things I wanted to make our store beginner friendly and a place that a lot of people could come to learn. So I've had multiple classes on Learn to Needlepoint.
Bueller says in just 8 months, she's already helped hundreds of people get hooked on the hobby.
We've had so many classes. We've taught over 300 people how to needlepoint, and I can say a lot of them have come back probably over 10 times each. So it's been amazing to see.
And she hopes people leave with more than just a finished project, but a chance to slow down, clear their minds, and keep life from unraveling.
Whatever you're going through in life, if you have something that you can just give a couple of minutes to, I'm not even talking about an hour, it would be nice, but if you can just sit, think, and clear your mind, you're going to be great moving forward.
If you want to learn to needlepoint, her next needlepoint class is on Saturday the 27th, and that is a Learn to Needlepoint beginners class. She also does other classes though too about finishing projects. So once you have this particular project, this is cross stitch, not needlepoint, but it gives kind of the same vibe. Once you have this, then what do you turn it into, right? You can turn it into
That's what I was asking. What is
a pillow. This is going to be an ornament. So for a special someone in my life who I can't talk about too much because I haven't given it to them yet, but this is going to be an ornament in a little bit of a set. So she will teach you how to turn it into all sorts of things. It could be a door hanger, a bag tag. It could turn into a pillow. A bigger project would turn into a pillow. So all sorts of things that then you can display your art. You can also just frame things as well. I framed one of my first projects I did. I framed for my boyfriend for his birthday, so it's exciting.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to go analog this summer, and that's a really good option. I have a friend who bought me a paint by number kit, but like a really beautiful like canvas, and I have yet to take it out of the box, but she did it, and they're gorgeous, and then you frame it and you've got something that you're really, really proud of. But it's, you know, I'm not an artist at all, but I think I can follow along pretty well with the directions, and so I do want to try it. My therapist also recommends that I
and one of the
do
things
something for myself. Do you have
need
a hobby?
to find a hobby.
Do you have a hobby?
And that's one of the things
I'm a mother.
Hannah says.
I am a working mother. I do not have a hobby.
That's one of the things that Hannah said. Is
Yeah.
she was like, a lot of people come to her and they say, well, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time. And she says, look at that little screen, screen time thing that comes up on your phone. How much time did you spend on Instagram, TikTok, all these things? And while you're cross stitching, I like to listen to an audiobook, right?
Oh, okay.
Bringing multiple analog hobbies into one.
Oh, you can do that at the same time. That's
Oh, yeah.
You can read and.
Yeah.
I'm not read, but listen.
Yeah, which is reading. Yeah.
But you were saying there's a football player who does cross stitch?
Yeah, Rosie
Full
Greer. Somebody talked to, I was just told, there's a famous, Mike, who was the person you told me? Rosie Greer. Okay, who did he play for? Okay, he was like a famous football player who was a needlepointer.
So athletes, jocks, anyone, any gender, any age
relief.
can do needlepoint or cross stitch.
It's so fun.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that to us and
course.
sharing it. And again, the name of the store and where is it?
Arden and Gray, and it is in East Aurora. It's right behind Dopest Dough. They're in like that little plaza there. So, and it's cute. It's little, but it's so fun and
that's great.
Very beautiful in there.
All right. Very nice. Okay, Rain, when is it ending? Oh, because I have a golf tournament for Motion Project today, a great charity, and so that's happening today.
You're playing, but it's gonna be moist. Sorry.
Favorite word.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Patrick.
Kind of. The heavy rain is over, but still, yeah.
All right.
Little damp.
Join us right here tomorrow for the ribbon cutting on Highmark Stadium.
Woo-hoo.